Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, beautiful people. How is it going on this beautiful Thursday? Good morning, Bonehead. How's it going for you?
Good. It's going good. How you doing this morning? Got my coffee. So I'm good.
Great. I got my coffee. And guess what? You'd be so proud of your mama this morning. Guess what I did?
What?
Come on.
What?
Come on. Tell me. Come on. You got it. You know what I did. Come on.
What? You put your collagen in there, went for a walk? What you do?
I did 30-minute workout.
Yeah, I figured just some kind of workout. Good, Mom.
And y'all, I feel so good. I feel so much better. I got back on my routine. I got up. I went in my war room. I timed my time out. I'm telling y'all, what happened the other week was for me. God just needed to shake me. Come on now. Come on. Don't get off. You're on the side of the road. You're on the road, but you're on the side. Don't you hear the little boom, 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 boom? You know how it goes when you kind of get off the road.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom,
You
boom.
start hitting them little, the little ridges.
Yeah. So y'all, I'm telling you, so I worked, prayed, worked out, got my shower, got my coffee, dressed, ready to go. Whew.
Well, good. You feel better, don't you? I'm sure.
Man, I feel so much better. And I don't know, because that used to be my regular, like working out was my thing. And it was just really walking.
Mm-hmm.
Just that alone was mentally helpful. So yeah, I feel so much better this morning, and I'm resting. I got rest. Slept well. So I can only imagine what tonight will be since I got up and did. I did 10 times up the stairs. That was one of my things. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I
That
was
is
like,
good. That's good.
okay, all right.
You working out. I mean, any working out, getting your heart elevated is good.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. So now there you go.
There you go. Most people that are on antidepressants and anxiety medicine and things like that, they should work out. The first prescription that a doctor should give is to work out, because you're more likely to become depressed if you move less, right?
Yeah.
So if you get up and you actually start working out, or if you have low energy, you should actually go work out. It sounds counterintuitive, like I don't have energy, so how can I work out? But you actually get more energy, more endorphins. Your body becomes supplies your body with more energy from what you eat based on how much it needs, right? And if
Yeah.
you're not using your system to combust and digest and move and raise your heart rate, then you're going to have less energy. So a lot of things can be solved with you just getting out and moving. Humans did not evolve in a vacuum, nor did they were they created in a vacuum or created in a room where they sit down all day or just walk around. Humans were to till the soil and chase game and things like that. So working out is integral to our being, right? So I'm glad
I
that you
agree.
tapped in, Mom.
I agree, Brandon. I had a friend who was on some antidepressants, and her physician, her doctor, actually recommended that she get out and walk, get some sunlight.
Yes.
And interesting, yesterday, I felt that way. I just kind of felt, and I had a reason, but still, I felt that way. But what I noticed when Zolly and I got out to go to the grocery store, as I moved about, I started to feel better. Even just being in there talking to people, Zolly, like it wasn't every, but it seemed like I was telling Stella last night that every older person just was attracted to her. Like they just found such joy in her. And even the interaction with those people between me and them about children, about Zolly, like, and things like that. seemed to perk me up a bit. So let's get up and get out and do our
Let's
things.
do it.
Y'all hold me accountable. If I don't tell you I did it, say something about me. So I'm planning to just get back on my routine and do what I ought to do to make life what I want it to be, what I'm pursuing it to be. As we come here every day, I gotta do what I need to do to get where I want to be, and to become who I want to continuously become. I don't want to get this far and turn back, right? I don't want to get this far and grow weary, right? I don't want to get this far and take my eyes off of God and the life He has for me. So um, let's let's welcome the people in. And as I do this, you guys, what I'm going to do, because we did not do it, how about it? Just we'll play it a little bit. Y'all groove on in. And who's here with us? Miss Brenda Davis. Great everything, everyone, on this Friday Eve. Cousin Monique, good morning from Albany, Georgia. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. Brother Mike. Miss Brenda says, Tammy, I saw your beautiful mom on yesterday. She looks fabulous. Yeah, I was telling Mike, she told me all about, coming out and hanging out with you guys yesterday. And I'm so proud of her for doing that. And I hope she continues to do it. I may join you guys on one Friday morning and just walk and talk, right? So Auntie Richetta says, good morning, Butterfly and nephew and everyone and family. All right, y'all. Let's prepare to feed the duck. Let's do it. You ready, Brandon?
I'm already in it.
You already in it? Oh, wait.
I think you should read it today.
And it was so awesome last night sitting, creating the show. I could literally read. I could see the and I still needed to get a little light, but still, like usually I'm down like this.
Tell the folks what happened.
So yes, last night, Brandon Seller comes over to get Zolly. And then Brandon gets out the car with this book. And it is from my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spiritual mom, Miss Erlene Edwards. Thank you, y'all. She is, and Kim, my sister in love. Miss Erlene is just, y'all, she's one of the people that I say, and she's going to get me for this. If she would have a book in the Bible, and I don't think she really realizes how much she blesses the soul of people. She's calm, she's easy, like Sunday morning. Like her words. This is so her. And I should have caught it yesterday when Brandon said that. Someone, you'll probably get one. I should have caught it. Like, I just want her to know, if you don't know, you mean the world to me. You've blessed me with your words and your spirit to the point where I could never repay you, y'all. I could never repay her. And that she doesn't even look for it, right? So thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Brandon, for delivering it. Look at the difference. I got cheated. Look, this wasn't a new book. There's no way.
No, of course not. You should have sent it back to Amazon or wherever you got it.
Yeah, before I don't know. It was kind of too late because I needed it. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it to someone who's younger and their eyes are better. Yeah. So I do have something before we start, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, you guys, I was at the store with Sally. We had gone to the store, and I heard this young lady say to a guy at the deli, I'm sorry that I have an attitude today. Y'all know my ears went, right? And I was like, this young girl just said, I'm sorry that I have an attitude. And it turned out, I guess it was her lead or her manager or something. And I told him, I said, she's a keeper. So it was her first day at work, and she was getting frustrated because she was having, issues kind of catching on and doing things. She's probably being a little hard on herself. Her name is Deja. And so I said, she's a keeper. I said, rarely do I hear people, old, young, whatever, apologize for how they're acting right here in front of everybody. She wasn't trying to hide it. It was right in the front where around other workers. And I said, she's a keeper. He said, yeah, she is. He said, this is her first day. And that's how I heard the rest of it. And I just commended her. And she said, young baby, she said, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I got in line, and y'all, this is nothing about me. This is about God. I got in line, and something just said, go bless her with lunch. Go just say, hey, you're on the right track. Keep going. And so we had a small little conversation. It wasn't much. I just walked back over. I said, Deja, I said, I just want to reiterate that what you did today was powerful. And don't lose sight of that. Don't lose it. And I said, just go have lunch on me. And she's like, what? I said, yes, really. And so I told her, I said, I'll be seeing you more because we'll be up here. We're going to be buying retail here. I said, I'll be seeing you more. And she said, well, should I call you Tammy or Miss Tammy? I said, call me what you want. I said, go have lunch on me. But y'all, it was so powerful to hear a young person say, I'm sorry that I have an attitude today. Powerful, powerful. So there you go.
Well, Mom, I think, yeah, that is powerful. I think you should read us in today. How about that with your new book?
Oh, really? All right. I'll use my new book then. Hey, I still need my little light. Y'all ready for this? Okay. So, y'all, this is why we come here. This is what Daily Motivations for African American Success is about. So, Daily Motivations for African American Success will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals in 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, who is also the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes, but also when to say no, and when to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans, such as, but certainly not limited to, Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Gout, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. But what it teaches will last a lifetime. And Black Enterprise says that each affirmation in this valuable and thought-provoking book takes only a few minutes to read, but is worthy of more time for contemplation. And my favorite part, if there is any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it is character, writes Dennis Kimbro. Every thought that enters our mind, every word we utter, every deed we perform makes its impression on the innermost fiber of our being. Daily Motivations for African American Success, Dennis Kimbro. That felt good. I can see it. All right, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom.
Let's do it. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Thank you for the book. Thank you for delivering it. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Dave. No problem at all. Let me see here. Let me get back. Cool. So I appreciate that, Mom. You ready to get us in there? You got anything else for us?
I think we're good. We're good. We're good. If I do, I'm not going to share it. I'll wait.
All right. Well, today our title, everybody, is Labor Day. Labor Day. And our quote comes from S.B. Fuller, who is an entrepreneur, who said, "The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary." The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. One day, a preacher drove down a country road and came upon the most magnificent farm he had ever seen. The farm stood out like a diamond. It sparkled. While it was by no means a new farm, the house and surrounding property were finely constructed and freshly painted. The garden around the house displayed an array of beautiful flowers. The fields were uniformly tilled, and an impressive herd of cattle grazed in the pasture. In his unabashed gazing, the preacher noticed the farmer on a big, shiny tractor hard at work. Upon noticing his visitor, the farmer stopped his tractor, shut off the engine, and shouted a friendly hello. The preacher then said, "My good man, God has certainly blessed you with a magnificent farm." There was a pause as the farmer removed his cap and wiped his perspiration from his face. He studied the preacher for a moment and replied, "Yes, he has, and I'm grateful. But you should have seen this place when he had it all to himself." As he drove off, the preacher thought about the fact that every farmer along this road had been blessed with the same land, the same opportunity, and each worked according to his pleasure. He understood that every farm was the reflection of the people who lived there. Furthermore, he also knew that the land we are given comes not in the form of acres or lots, but in terms of the life we are blessed with. That's our plot of land, and what we do with it is our business. Finally, the preacher realized that though the farmer was grateful for what he had, he knew that what he did with it spelled the difference between success and failure. Luck may help you get to the top, but it takes hard work to keep you there. And our affirmation for the day is, I welcome hard work. It is the shortest path to success. Again, I welcome hard work. It is the shortest path to success. Over to you, Mom. What do you think about that?
All right, I like it. I like it. I like
Labor
it.
Day.
Labor Day. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Y'all, we gotta put in the work. You have to put in the work. Our life is a reflection of us. Your life is a reflection of you, right? Ever drive down a street and you see houses? It could be the most beautiful neighborhood, right? But what stands out? You have some neighbors who never do their yards, right? And some maybe that they get out there and they're pruning every day. They have this rhythm going where they cut their yards maybe every week or every 2 weeks. I remember we had a guy in our neighborhood that, man, it seemed like he was cutting the grass every 2 days. Like, but what it did was some of the neighbors were talking about, like, what's wrong with him? What is he doing? Because it made them have to cut theirs to keep it up, right? Because if you're riding through and one or two, you see what stands out, right? You see the one who's putting in the work. You see the yard and you think someone's putting in the work, whether it's someone you've hired or some that you're doing it yourself. So your life, just like that farm, just like your yard, your life is a reflection of the work that you're putting into it. Because it was a day, Brandon, that we had one where it says like people are waiting on relatives to die so they can get insurance money, or walking down the street thinking they're going to find a pot of money. And even if you did, some of us, our minds wouldn't even allow us to handle that money in a successful way. We'd probably go through it in a month, right? Because mentally we've not prepared. It's kind of like Brandon says, we want to be we want a wedding, we don't want to be married. We don't want to, we want to spend $1 million, right? Not, we want to make it so we could spend it, right? So what's your why? Who are you? In my reading this morning, I read this, and it's not on the day that I'm supposed to read it on. It says, live life to the full. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light, we see light. And it goes on, it says, life is the best thing God has given to you. Your life. not mine, but your life is the best thing God has given to you. So be grateful for it. When you accept the goodness of life, you will stop fighting against it. Right? Some of us, truth be told, we say that we serve a God and we talk about the goodness of God, but how often do we say, I have the goodness of God in me? God didn't create me to live and think this way, to live mediocre, to think the worst of things, to think that life's always going to be cruel. And this spoke to me this morning, to get up and expect goodness. Why? Because I was created for it. And I want to live for it. I want to make the best of my farm. I want you to ride by and my yard, my farm is the one that you stop and come in. Why? Because that's where God is. There's something that draws you in and said, I need to be there. I want to see the person behind this, right? And for me, it should always be God, not behind it, in front of it, inside of it, and all. So this goes on, and I'll turn it over to you, Brandon. When you accept, I'm going to read this part again. When you accept the goodness of life, you will stop fighting against it. You will stop fighting yourself. You will stop fighting the fact that you struggle to determine if you are valuable, right? If you see yourself as worthy of what you are hoping for, praying for, right? When you accept that life is good, all impatience and frustration will be removed and life becomes a satisfying and accepting experience. Y'all hear that? When you accept that life is good, all impatience and frustration will be removed and life becomes a satisfying and exciting experience. I'm sorry. And it says, allow your life to be controlled by godly principles, and it will become an expression of those plans, his wills for your life. You will possess a unity with the creator. And that's what we're missing. That's what we're missing. And that's why you don't tend to your farm. Or that's why maybe you stop appreciating cutting the grass so that you can pull up and not feel all cluttered, right? And feel how you feel inside. Or you can walk in your house and it may not be perfectly clean, but it's in order. It's in order. That little experience I had the other day that put me in a frantic, you know, I'm looking here and there for things that I should know where they are. But I'm so caught up sometimes in other people's lives and business. I realize that too. And that brings me to this, Brandon, and I'm going to be over to you. Tomorrow starts my journey, my November off the grid. I'm off. I'm going to be off the grid. I only need to talk to the people I need to talk to about what we need to talk about. That's it. No meaningless conversations. No conversations just for the sake of conversations. Nah. I have stuff I can be doing. Seeking God for understanding, for my farm, for my life, for his will for my life. Getting closer to him, right? So we gotta work. You got to put the work in. You have to. If you want a clean house, you got to clean it up or hire somebody to come do it, right? If you want a clean life, you got to clean your life up. Clean up your internal world. Let's stop being conformed to the patterns of this world and let's get into a spirit. There is a spiritual life. There is a spiritual being. There is a spiritual way to do this life. Otherwise, this is hell. This is hell when you're not walking in the steps that God has ordered for you. And it doesn't mean your life is perfect, but it is good. Why? Because we serve a good and mighty God who has created you to have life and life more abundantly. Start believing that. Start doing the things that support that. Right? Because as the book says, every thought which enters your mind, every word you utter, every deed you perform makes its impression on the innermost fiber of your being. So over to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate it for those insights. There's a couple things that I noticed or that struck me a little bit. I really like that first quote, that the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. I'm gonna keep that one with me, right? Sometimes we put the cart before the horse, where we think, man, I'm supposed to be successful right now. Or when we don't get immediate gratification or immediate, I guess, signs of our success, or returns on what we think we invested. Sometimes even before we invested, when we don't get that initially, that first thing that we want, that first success, then a lot of times people turn around, or they become discouraged, or they start to talk, to do bad self-talk. Oh, I don't know why I even did this. Why did I think this would work? I can't believe I thought this would be successful when, everyone else has tried it, but this hasn't worked for them. Discounting their own ability. And even more than that, discounting and almost disrespecting the work that it takes in order to be successful in whatever your field is. There's a reason we call it success, right? It's because if it was easy to do, everyone would do it, right? So in order to be, I remember hearing this thing, in order to have, what you've never had, you have to do what you've never done. And if you want more, if you want to be able to do things, right, that you look around and you see others can't do but want to do, you want access to your time, you want to own your own time, you want to be able to take a trip if you want to with your family, right, and get out of the Memphis Loop or the Atlanta metro area or wherever you are, then you have to make certain sacrifices in the here and now. So do what no one else will do today in order to enjoy what others won't be able to later, right? So the one that saves his money, in a sense, or the one that puts away something for a rainy day, right? I really like the people that were raised just after the Depression, because they would say, I remember this adage I heard that was, save what you can and then can whatever you save. So they would always have something in their coffers for another day. Whereas now we're so easy to throw things away. And what that tells me is that we've forgotten how much went into creating whatever that is, right? Because remember those mason jars, we would get them for jelly and then they would become cups, right?
Yep.
And then, before you know it, we didn't have to buy cups and jelly. We just buy jelly, and every time we buy jelly and run out, we got a new cup. You see what I'm saying? so but nowadays, it's like, oh, I need jelly. I'm gonna throw the glass away, and I gotta go buy some plastic cups, which doesn't degrade and just fills up landfills eventually, because we're gonna throw those away for something new. So it's without getting too far into being wasteful, we forget how much goes into what we had and how valuable what we already have. One of the most valuable things that you can have, especially if you're pushing for success, is work ethic. Work ethic. Now, work ethic isn't just the work you do, but the ethics that you put behind the work, the attitude that you have behind the work, to be able to check yourself. And like Deja at Costco that you mentioned earlier, she was able to check herself to say, wait a minute, I have was it Costco? What did I say?
It's okay. I didn't say where it was, but you said Costco. We didn't go to Costco. It's okay.
Or wherever y'all were. I don't know where y'all.
Yeah.
Wherever you were. But she noticed and checked herself and was able to bring herself back to a place to where she could start again. Right? Whereas I don't like you said, Mom, that's an incredible feature for someone to have, especially on their first day when they're trying to impress. To sit there and say, wait a minute, I did something wrong today. Because everyone, on their first day, they're trying to impress. They're trying to, put the best foot forward. So to admit that you did something wrong, or that your internal state of being at that time is wrong, is an incredible feature. And like you said, she was a keeper indeed. Now, about the main subject of this passage, when you see success on someone and you call out the fact that what a blessing that you had, I think, or you tell them what a blessing that they have. Sometimes it's easy, right, to think that they did all of that themselves. And in many cases, their hard work has put them in that position, but God got them there, right? So don't think this person has more than me or I have less than this person, because wealth in general and even provision in every kind of way is distinct for every single person. The wealth that someone might have of a farm, you might have in your family, right? That farmer with all those acres might not have a loving wife and children, right? And that's a part of your provision. That's actually a part of your wealth. But the difference that we all have and the opportunity that we all have is to do the best with what provision we have been allocated, right? Because that's how you grow for more. Why would God bless you with more when you haven't been maintaining what he already has given you? Like a child. If I give you a pencil and a drawing pad, and you write all over the walls, why would I give you a paint set? Why would I give you charcoal? Why would I give you a permanent marker? Why would I give you more art supplies when you haven't even contained yourself to the pad that I brought you to do the art on, right? So don't mismanage what provision God has already given you and still be expecting more. Take care immaculately of what you have. And I'm speaking to myself first. Take care and maintain exactly what you have now. And then maybe God will bless you with more. But it is your hard work of maintaining what you have, I think, that spurs more blessings to come your way, more responsibility to come your way. Just like the farmer, he had all that land, right? And he said, after being complimented on it, he said, you should have seen that, God bless you with great land. You should have seen it before. You should have seen it when what did he say? When it was all his, when he had it
I
all
was
to
going to ask
himself.
you about that, Brandon. I need y'all to
And
help me to understand that one. He said you should have seen it this place when he had it all to himself.
right. And so I think that's reflexive, and I think it can be looked at one or two ways, and maybe both ways at the same time, right? So you should have seen it before, when he had it all to himself. I think in one way, he's saying, I can never have it as perfect as God made it with the natural ecology and environment. Like, you think it's nice now, you should have seen it when he had it all to himself. So there's one way. And then there's another way we can look at it as, God gave it to me like this, and I tilled it and and worked the land to be able to produce abundance for myself. But so he maybe as a kind of not like a co-creator of that space, right? Like, there's a certain amount of lead and a certain length of leash that God gives us in order to work the earth, right? We've seen this in Genesis and different places in the Quran, that kind of speaks to this, that says that we are stewards of the land, right? To make it work for us and to make it a better place and to be abundant, right? And so I think it's in two different ways. Like, you should have seen this place before, when God had it all to himself, right? Just that possibly that perfect nature, or it
That's
could have been.
Yeah.
Hmm?
That's what I was thinking, because it says, the preacher then said, "My good man, God has certainly blessed you with a magnificent farm." And it's almost he's saying, like, man, if you think it looks good now, you should have seen it when God had it all to himself. Like, I don't know, but that part was interesting to me.
Right. I mean, if you just think about, like, what might have been there
It's interesting.
already, like, he's
Or
using it
is.
for land, for his fruit, for his vegetables, for his crops. Largely a monoculture where you have different rows of the same thing, right? Whereas in nature, there's a lot of biodiversity. There's different plants and different animals that all work together and create this natural space. So I think there's a lot more beauty in what we might see as not disorganized, but just
Yeah.
untilled land, right? But there's a lot more
Right.
beauty in
Right.
that space. And maybe the farmer knew that. He knew what he needed to
Yeah.
do with the space in order to make a living and provide for himself and things of that nature. But I think he also understood the
In its
natural
natural
beauty.
state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
The natural
Gotcha.
state of beauty. So he recognizes both his own hard work in that space, but also the provision that God gave him and the natural beauty that was already there before he even touched the land. Meaning, kind of saying, like, I know you recognize possibly what, this work that I've done here, but do you recognize the gift of land in general? And then
Right.
it made a metaphor of that land, saying that our what he did with the land and the distinction that and the difference that it spoke about between success and failure being his hard work on the land
Hmm.
is compared to our plot in life, right? Where you were born,
Mm.
the family you were born to, your attributes, your talents, and skills, your natural abilities, right? So think about this as that plot of land. God already put you here, right? And you are beautiful in your creation in the way that he created you, just on that. Just like I always say that children come here as themselves. We're not forming their personalities. They have this base of personality and we nurture them, um, either toward guidance or away from guidance, either toward success or away from success. But they're born with this natural sense of themselves,
Yeah.
right? And their own individuality. So I think, like that plot of land, children are already a natural ability, or a natural individual in and among themselves, and we grow them or till them, or nurture them to one particular place. And so we're like that same land. We have our particular talents. Now, what we do with it, how we invest in it, how we sharpen those natural talents and skills, is our own plot. Like, someone can come to me and say, "Man, I really like how great a shape you're in." And be like, "Man, God gave me some good genes." You know what I mean? Like it's not just me, but it's what I was given as well. Oh, God gave you this great farm. What a beautiful farm you have. Well, God gave me great soil. He gave me the water, the lake over here that all the roots can tap into to make this a fertile space. Right. So don't forget or get blinded by your own success to think that you did it all yourself. But also don't discount the hard work that you put in it or that it requires to be successful, because that truly makes the difference. So don't lose sight of either of those things, right? You can see both at the same time. You got two eyes, right? But don't lose one. Don't put both your eyes on your own prize. Keep one eye on God, at least. At least keep your vision towards the guidance and what got you there. Don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. That's all I got.
So, Brandon, I'm going to give this part, and that's going to be all that I'm going to provide anyway. As he drove off, the preacher thought about the fact that every farmer along this road had been blessed with the same land. Let's make this about us. All of us have been blessed with life. We're right here today. We have another day of life, or second, because we don't know what the next minute holds, or tonight, right? We don't know what tomorrow brings. So we've all been blessed with life. I'll change land for life, right? The same opportunity. And some of you may think, well, maybe not. No, the same opportunity to seek ye first the kingdom of God, right? And to do what you ought to do what you can do. Brandon talks about, if you feel like you're 80% today, give 80. If you feel 50%, give 50. But let's not go beneath our abilities and what we're capable of doing, right? So the same opportunity, and each worked according to his pleasure. Each of us works according to our pleasure, right? So Labor Day for you, what work? What are you doing? How much work are you putting in? Because see, I could have talked about, hey, I want this to change. But until I get my butt up and do what I did this morning and then be consistent with it, stop in and out on it, holding myself accountable, Because if I don't keep going and putting in the work, I'm not going to get the results that I want. So when they asked Brandon about, hey man, you look like you're in good shape. Hey, Brandon goes and work out about every day, training every day for his body, for his mind. He puts the labor in. So what life do you want? What is it that you want? And it says, finally, the preacher realized that though the farmer was grateful for what he had, he knew that what he did with it spelled the difference between success and failure. So you may realize, or maybe you don't, that you have life, right? But what you do with this life, how you labor it, will be the difference between your success and your failure. We had a previous day that told us it's not what you are carrying. It was about the ant who was already overwhelmed and tired, right? But he carried what he needed to carry to get where he needed to go. So it's not what you're carrying it. It's how first, if you decide to carry it, and then how. How, right? So y'all put the work in to get what you want out of life. Don't plant strawberry seeds and expect peaches to grow. Right? So I'll Brandon,
Do the
anything
work,
in it.
do the work, like put the work in to get the blessings out.
Right. There you go. There you
Right.
go. Plant the seed of the fruit that you're expecting.
Right.
Don't love and live a life, want to live a life of peaches, but you're on your branch, there's plums, right? You walk up the, I mean, really, imagine that. You plant a peach tree and you get plums. Right? Imagine it. Imagine that. You know, I don't know why I think about the fish tank, Brandon. Fish tanks used to be a thing, a whole thing. But I remember how people would get them and complain about having to keep them clean.
Mm.
You got it. Same like having children. One thing I listened to, bless me, said just seeing the blessings in getting up in the middle of the night to go tend to your child or children. Not to see it as, oh my God, I got to get up. Yeah, you
Man,
got to get up. You got babies.
can you imagine people that lost their children, to wrecks or wars or disease or
Yeah,
any mishappening? They would kill to be in your position,
yeah,
to be able to hear their child cry in the room and
yeah,
be able to go and check on them. And
yeah,
here you are complaining about it.
yeah,
You really don't know your blessings.
yeah. You
You know?
really don't. That reminds me of a wife. It was a story about a wife who complained and complained and complained about her husband. He would come in and drop his work clothes on the floor every day, and she would have to pick him up, and something happened and he passed away. And she talked about she'd give anything to be able to pick up his dirty clothes, just to have him walk through the door and
Mm.
drop them there so she could pick them up. So you guys live life to the full. As I go back to my grace for today, life is the best thing God has given to you. The best thing. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. So be grateful for it. It says, when you accept the goodness of life, when you accept the goodness of life, you're accepting the goodness of God, right? You will stop fighting against it. And it is yourself. You will stop fighting your goodness, your value, your worth, right? And when you accept that life is good, and frustration all impatience and frustration will be removed, and life becomes a satisfying and exciting experience. All right, y'all. Let's go be great and let's go do the work to
All right,
be.
y'all. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for joining us today. This is the In the Season podcast. Make sure that you go and like the YouTube channel, this video, and subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications so that you know and get a notification every time that we go live. You won't have to go and search and find it. It'll pop right up on your phone, right up on your computer if you turn those notifications on. So as we wrap up today, our title is Labor Day. Labor Day. Our quote from S.B. Fuller, the entrepreneur, said, "The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary." Right? So if you want success, you got to be willing to put the work in. Don't short sight yourself. Don't cut any corners on your square, or you're just going to circle back around to the same position you were in. All right. Our inspiration and motivation for the day, our affirmation that we leave with is, I welcome hard work. It is the shortest path to success. I welcome hard work. I embrace it, for it's the shortest path to success. Thank y'all again, and we'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. Feed those ducks, get your groove on your way out. Enjoy yourself, enjoy the people around you on this Friday Eve. Take care. Peace.
Let's feed some ducks, Brandon, as we go out. Let me see. You didn't feed them, like.
Nah, you don't get me on here dancing.
Come on. Nope. Come on, just do the head bob with. Come on, feed the ducks.
I've already fed them. I'm here. I fed them.
Come on, just bob your head. Do the work, man. Do the work.
I'm doing it right. It ain't working for me, baby.
Y'all go be great. Go be great. Just having some fun here. Y'all do y'all thing. Do y'all thing.
Yeah, take care, man. Love y'all. Look, that's Teresa said, feed them ducks.
Feed them ducks. That's right, Renee. Feed them ducks. She said, Brandon, feed them. She also says, awesome topic. Again, topics, introspection, so good. Cousin Shasta says, good morning, family. So thank y'all, fam, for rocking with us. Family,
I love you.
Y'all, daily motivations for African American success. Go feed them ducks. Pimpin' wearing you? You wearing the pimp. You need to find that young man. Y'all go be great.
All right, y'all, take it easy. Peace.